We're back again. So, you've seen this face a couple of times. This is the first time you're seeing it. Welcome to our community as told by Canadian immigrants. We are a group of Canadian immigrants just talking to you guys a little bit about our experience living in Canada and what the immigration process was like for us to help you make an informed decision or to help you if you are in any kind of a struggle that we were once in to help you how to figure it out. So, remember to subscribe, join our community, and this is Dwight, my good friend from high school, and he's been here for 10 years. His 10th year anniversary is tomorrow.
Yep.
So that means that we're old. That means that we left high school 10 years ago. Oh my God.
Sixth form,
but we're not too bad. There's one thing. You live in the city.
Yes.
I live in a suburb. Two different contexts. Right? I drive. You've chosen not to drive.
Yeah.
Now, anytime I've cursed the day I came here was when the bus left me and it was snowing. But when you live in the suburbs, it's different, right? When you live in Toronto, where you live by the subway line, you know, there are streetcars, there's buses running 24/7.
Yeah.
He lives by the train line that will connect you from city to city, so that's how he's able to get to work with ease. So he's chosen not to drive. So now you experience all seasons of Canada for the last 10 years without having to drive. Now I would not go back to not driving. But if you live by the train line, whatever, right? So what's your experience like of the Canadian winter, especially as a commuter in public transit, and outside of public transit, the Canadian weather?
Yeah, so my experience in Toronto, like actually in that city, it's not that bad if you are traveling somewhere close to the subway line, which I tend to. I live close to a subway station, and most of the places I go to, like outside of work,
are places.
That's very good to know. So most of the places that I go to are places that are easy to access from the subway line. I don't like to go to places that aren't close to the subway line. So if I have to take a bus, it's like less likely that I will go there. Subways are heated and everything, and they probably typically are there every 5 minutes. So there's no long waiting, but even the waiting is in a heated area.
Controlled environment.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not that bad. There's some stations that are actually kind of open to outside, so it's a little bit chillier, but again, it's like about 5 minutes typically for a subway train.
I want to just compare that to the suburbs.
Okay.
Where, because I live in suburbs and I didn't drive for a year and a half, his next train was 5 minutes. On the weekend, when you miss the bus, the next bus is in an hour. And there's no subway or train in the suburbs.
Yeah, so you're just outside.
No local train.
Yeah, so you're just outside in the elements, experiencing all of that for an hour or 30 minutes.
Yes, so it's different.
Yeah, and also for the GO train, my experience coming to the suburbs, I just know my schedule, so I spend as least amount of time as possible outside, exposed to the crazy weather, and yeah, that's that. It is still inconvenient because sometimes there's delays due to the weather, and it's just like something you have no control over. If that train that you were planning to head home in, like, it's not that I'm outside in the cold, but if I am planning to be home by a certain hour and then that train is just cancelled, which happens due to storms and all that stuff, then I'm just like stranded in this area. I have heat, but I'm just like inconvenienced by that. While stuff can happen to your car too, but I mean it's different. Probably less yeah, probably less often that kind of thing will happen.
Yeah.
In the actual city of Toronto, if you're close to any station, you will kind of have a convenient experience getting around. If there's any delays with the trains, subway trains, they'll have shuttle buses, like they're ready like within moments. So
for local commutes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's yeah, and actually the subway is about the same, like depending on where you're going, it's about the same time as a driving by car.
Or probably quicker.
Yeah, depending on the traffic. I'm getting into it. I'm getting into detail. So the subway in Toronto is basically, there's one going west to east, and then there's like a U going north to south, and it kind of, there's just two lines going north to south. So if, for instance, you are east and you want to go to one of the stations at the north, you'll have to go all the way west and then go all the way north. While if you're driving, you can kind of find a shorter route. So that would take more time. But if I'm just going along that line, which I tend to, like that line and south is kind of like downtown, and where a lot of things are. If anything you kind of want to do, you can find around that area, and that's kind of, you know, where I
He lives in Toronto.
Yeah, and actually it's crazy cheaper because parking in Toronto is expensive.
And I'm allergic to paying for parking.
Yeah, parking is expensive. People will, next thing is like the travel time will be approximately the same, but then the time to find a parking spot,
to pay for it.
Yeah, but even if you're willing to pay, sometimes you can't find one.
A spot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so find a parking spot. It'll take you some time, and then also the cost. Sometimes it's like $24. Yeah, I think if you're planning to be in Toronto, it's like a pretty good idea to, or I would recommend if you're a single person, you know, you don't have to have a stroller around or wheelchair or anything. It's pretty convenient to get around by the train, the TTC.
What is your take on Canadian weather and your mood and depression, or just weather in general and how it affects you?
Yeah, so I have been here for a while. Yeah, 10 years. So, and
I just want to stick up in. This is a funny story. I remember being on the phone with him before, maybe the year before I came to Canada, and I hear like
yes.
I'm like, what is that? What's that sound? I'm walking in the snow. I'm like, you're kidding right now. No, you're not walking in the snow. No, snow is like cotton, and you're lying and you're exaggerating and you're making that sound with your mouth.
That's an important thing to mention too, is that in certain suburban areas, they may not get rid of the snow. So at that time, I was in somewhere where they didn't get rid of the snow. So the snow was like up to like my shins. So I was like stepping in and stepping out and crunching the snow.
And I could hear.
Yeah. So depression in Canada. So I've been here for 10 years. While I was in Jamaica, I never really appreciated the weather, appreciated
sunshine, the yellow and the green and the blue.
Yeah, or appreciated the nature. You know, so since moving away, like when I go to Jamaica, I'm like trying to be at the beach as much as possible, go, you know, on hikes and whatever when I'm in Jamaica, and like experience actual island.
But even when you're here and it's summer,
I am always
you just
out
want to be outside. You're just like, oh my God, it's sunny.
Out. The thing about this winter stuff, can't just go outside and run if it's like minus 15 degrees. And if you I've tried to do it a few times and I've layered myself like crazy.
You can't breathe.
Yeah, I've layered myself, cover my mouth, nose, everything, right? And the most I can be out there for is about 15 minutes until the cold starts to come through, like leak through my gloves and my socks and my toes and fingers start to get cold. So it's just really an uncomfortable experience to be outside in the cold, and even to be in your apartment or home and not be fully clothed and in something warm, like consistently be warming yourself.
Or having to open the door and forgetting that it was winter. And you open the door and you go outside and you're like, crap. And you have to come back inside, put on this bag of clothes. So what about like your mood, like, and depression and stuff like that?
So that's what I was, So basically, even now, I get into like crazy moods.
The winter blues.
Equivalent of the winter blues, but they're in the summer. And I am able to walk down to the lake, start hearing some waves. I walk on the boardwalk.
It's in the summer.
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
I do that, and it completely is just like a breath of fresh air. You feel some breeze, it's nice. People on the beach now having fires and all of that stuff, and it's just like a cool vibe down there. So I do that whenever I'm just like feeling a little bit, like, a little bit trapped. In the winter time, you can't go outside. You can't be exposed to this crazy weather for more than a few minutes, and it's just like there's no release for your stress.
No vitamin D.
Yeah, there's no vitamin D, but I think more so than the vitamin D, it's like I depend on some way of exerting some of my frustration through like physical activity, and it just gets pent up, and I just don't know what to do with myself. Yeah,
it's
just
cold
to get to
and it's
that.
windy. Like when it's cold, but still you can do it.
Yeah,
but when
the
it's
wind
cold
chill.
and it's windy and the wind is blowing and it's blowing your eye and your face, and you know you have to go to the supermarket. I'm like, not today.
Yeah.
Not happening. I'm going home, straight
Yeah,
home.
yeah. As soon as you get into your home, you say thank you, bye bye. Done for the day.
Tomorrow.
And
there's good experiences and it's bad experiences. Like you get to do stuff like ice skate. I love
ice
skating.
skate.
You
can try snowboarding. Yeah, and then in the winter they had like this thing called Aurora something, and it's like this little kiddies winter wonderland type thing, and there's Santa Claus walking around, and there's rides where you have to be outdoors around the place.
It's just a different experience.
Yeah,
it's definitely a different experience when it's cold.
Yeah, if you can just make a friend that will, accompany you to do these things. If you're a person like me who kind of needs to move and wants to go outside, it's going to like hit you like a wall. But
never been hit by a wall. Bro.
Yeah, it's gonna hit you like a freaking wall, fall upon you and just smash you up. But
community is important.
And I mean, there's people who like to just be indoors regardless of what the weather is outside.
The winter affects people differently.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna say like, oh my God, you're gonna be depressed. It's not. It's not. You don't have to be.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
Surround yourself with people. It's usually easier to manage when there's somebody else there.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anybody, then
community helps.
Yeah, community helps. If you don't know anybody, try to reach out to a friend and join our community, binge watch our videos, lock up in the cold and just bundle up and just binge watch our videos. We're your friends, even though we don't know each other. You know me, and I feel you. I feel your pain. I feel you. I've been through it all, right? I mean, I haven't even spoke about like living in a basement yet. I'm gonna get there, don't worry. But the winter real.
Yeah.
And just be patient with yourself, especially if you're new here. Be patient with yourself and give yourself time to adjust. Like I've said that so many times.
Yeah, because even for me, like I don't even really recall like So I was living on dorm.
When you're living on dorm, you have all your friends.
Yeah,
from
I don't
school.
recall winter being like that bad, right? Like we were in each other's rooms all the time.
And you
We'd
never have to
go
worry about
outside.
immigration.
Yeah,
Never that stressing to find
yeah.
the work.
We go outside and make snow angels. We go slay down little hills and have snowball fights. Yeah, yeah. So we were like playing in the snow, and all I had to worry about is a little walk across to my class.
Yeah, so you were more carefree.
Yeah.
You had more things to distract you. You had homework.
Yeah. So the cold didn't really bother me at that time. Once I kind of was on my own and outside of school, then it kind of was like, what do I do with this thing, you know? In this time. Come in with an open mind, right? Definitely come in with an open mind. I liked it at first, and then I just, my tolerance just continuously became lower, lesser and lesser.
But he also doesn't drive.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even the drive. I feel like if I was driving, I would still feel, you know, it's not necessarily the cold itself. It's like the limitation of it being cold outside. In terms of,
I know, but I feel like even though it's cold outside, because you drive, you only have to worry about getting to your car. Just get to the car.
Yeah, but I want to go to the beach, and I want to go and
you need to go back to Jamaica. You need to move back to Jamaica.
Yeah, I want to go for a walk.
Just move back to Jamaica. We can go to the beach all the time.
You know what I've been doing on the weekends? I've been
in the summer.
Yeah, recently I've been going on like 15-kilometer walks and jogs. Like that's how I'm talking about. I want to be outside.
Okay, so if you're an outdoorsy person,
it's
just
tough.
move to the tropics.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. But otherwise.
But then when you were in the tropics, you didn't appreciate it.
Exactly. But now when I go, I try to enjoy it.
Yeah. But as life teaches you these things that you know sometimes you take things for granted, and then you get put in a different situation and you realize, oh my God, the sun is actually pretty yellow. The trees are actually very green. So that is his take on the Canadian weather and depression in Canada. And you know, I appreciate you and the time you're taking to talk to our community. I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to subscribe, join our community, watch the rest of our videos here, and if it's winter and you're watching this, namaste. It will shine, the sun come out tomorrow.
Eventually.
Bet your bottom dollar that there will be sun.
Eventually. Maybe not tomorrow.
Maybe not tomorrow, but the sun will come out. And winter, it can be beautiful. It's beautiful and people experience it differently. And give us your experience. Comment and share your experience with us in the comment section below. We'd love to meet you someday and have you sitting down in the chair across from me telling me all about how much you love winter. See you guys in the next video.